I'm going to share the exercise now to read through, then to identify what are the classes. Okay, so the exercise is actually a very famous exercise for class diagram. I think if you search, you will find this question, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so this is a hockey league scenario, right? And you have to identify what are the classes, right, that are mentioned in this short paragraph. So, and then you have to also identify some of the attributes that they mention, right, in the paragraph. Okay, let's go through sentence by sentence, and maybe you can identify with me, right? What are the classes? Okay, draw a UML class diagram representing the following elements from the problem for a hockey league, right? So that is just an introduction about the topic. So there's no classes there to extract. Go to the second sentence. A hockey league is made up of at least 4 hockey teams, right? So what are the classes there? So at least if you don't do the exercise, participate in the discussion. Give me the answer. What are the classes? Okay, league, hockey team, hockey league, all right. So actually there are 2 classes. Both are correct, hockey league and hockey teams. Okay, let's highlight that. So we have hockey league. And hockey teams. Okay. So from this one sentence, we can draw already our hockey league as the class and another class called hockey teams, and we can draw an association. The association is made up of, right? This wording that you will find in the text, you can take it. That would be the relationship. Is made up of at least 4. This at least 4 would be the multiplicity or the multiplicity, right? How many hockey teams are there for one hockey league, right? So you can draw that. So for this, let me just open for you the answers so that you can check with me. Wait a bit. I will try to open the answers. You can see the. Can you see the class diagram here on the screen? Okay. So this is the one that we draw just now, right? That we identified just now. The league, hockey league, and the team, hockey team, right? And we have to draw the relationship is made up, right? So this is the relationship. Okay, here we have drawn the aggregation relationship. Why aggregation? Because the question say is made up of, right? It's made up of. So that means if you have the league, you must have a hockey team, right? Because without the hockey team, there would not be the league. So this is the whole, this is the part. But if you destroy the whole, if you destroy the league, it means you are not going to do a league, a hockey league today, but the team still exists, right? The team still exists. So a league can only be conducted if there are minimum four, right? Maximum, it didn't say, so we put until many. So because it says at least four, right? The four is the minimum, then the maximum was not mentioned. Okay, each hockey team is composed of 6 to 12 players. So this is the second sentence. So hockey team is already a class. What's the next class? Players. Yes, correct. Players. Okay. So that's why we have players. This is the player, right? And it says 6 to 12, right? In the question mentioned 6 to 12, right? So we have to draw the multiplicity, and again, because it mentioned it's made of, so we have to draw the aggregation relationship. Okay, so one team will have 6 to 12 players. Okay, now how about these things here in the attribute name, record, number, position? So it's mentioned in the question, but here, right, a team has name and a record. Okay, but before that, let's identify another class. The hockey team also has a captain, right? And one player captains the team, right? So the next class is captain, right? So we have to draw a class for captain, and each team got a captain, right? So why is this relationship is not aggregation but composition? But why do you think we draw this as an aggregation? Can the captain exist without a team? Yes, that's the answer. Without the team, captain cannot exist, right? So if we destroy, yes, captain is a part of the team, but if it's just part of the team, it's not enough to describe this composition, right? This one also part of, right? Team is a part of league. All right, player is part of the team. But here, we have to add some more, that this is the whole, this is the part, and when we destroy the whole, the part cannot exist. That means if we don't have the team, that means we don't have captain. Okay? So that's why we put here composition. And what is this? This symbol represent what? Anybody knows? Yes, captain is also a player. But to show that, we have to use generalization, right? Generalization symbol, so that we know that this captain class is what child of the parent class player. So captain is also a player. So that's why we show that using the generalization symbol. Okay, so far we already have 1, 2, 3, 4 classes, right? And we still have some more classes to identify. So players, a team has name and record. So this name and record must be attribute of the team, right? And players have a number and a position. So these two are attributes for players. So this is what we have written in the box: number, position, and name record. Okay, players, hockey. Okay, we continue on. Hockey team plays games against each other, right? So they play games against each other. So the next class is, yes, game, right? So to show that this is the class game, right? And this is a simple association because this is not whole and part, so we don't use aggregation relationship with it. So this is just game is played by teams, right? To show that, we just draw a line and write down the association. So to play a game, how many teams are needed? Two, right? Because if you don't, because it mentions here hockey teams play games against each other. That means there are two teams must be involved. So the multiplicity for this is 2, right? But here why we put star, this is to read from the team. Team can play a lot of games, right? Team can play with each other. Team A can play with team B, team A can play with team C. So a team can play a lot of games. So that's why I put star here. But one game can only be played by 2 teams. So 2 here. Then the attributes for the game, score and location, is already also mentioned, right? Each game has a score and a location. Okay, so that is the attribute. So we have identified game as the task. Okay, teams are sometimes led by a coach. So you have to like identify all the words, like sometimes, you know. This will also give you information on how to draw the class diagram. So teams are sometimes led by a coach. So coach is the class. The next class that you have to draw is a coach. But where to connect it? So because each team is led by a coach, so you connect it to the team and you write down the association led by. So when it says sometimes, then it might happen that a team would not have a coach, right? So it can happen that the team do not have a coach, but if they have a coach, there will be only one team, right? And in this case, coach can lead a lot of team, right? So that we put a star there. So this is these two are simple association. It's not aggregation or composition. And then we read on further. The coach has a level of accreditation and a number of years of experience. So these two are attribute for the coach, right? So you saw that just now in the answer that we have accreditation level and years experience as the attribute for the coach. So what else we need to draw? Coaches and players are people, right? And people have names and addresses. So this is to draw a superclass called person, right? Or people, right? So here the term people are used. Coaches and players are people, and people have names and address. These are attributes for the people. So that's why we have drawn in this answer. We write down person to replace people, and we have drawn superclass. So there's again another generalization relationship here from the coach and the player, that both of them are person, and we put the attribute name and address. Okay, so that's it. We have identified all the classes. So hope you have identified the correct classes. If you have any question, you can ask me. When do we need to use aggregation and composition? Okay, so whenever you draw a relationship between two classes, you have to check whether the class is part of another class or not. So here in this question, especially it is mentioned that is made up of, right? It's made up of. If you see the second one also, is composed of, right? These are keywords for aggregations. These are keywords. Another one is for the captain. One player captains the team. Right, although here it didn't explicitly mention the composition. So when you have a whole and a part, so if you look at the game and the team, they are totally two different classes. You look at the coach and the team, right? But when you look team and player, they are actually made of the same. Team are who? Team are made of players, right? Team are made of players. The team is the whole, and player is the part. So when we delete team, are the players deleted? No, but the captain, yes, they are deleted. There would not be a captain if there's no team. But the player still exists as a person, right? They can join another team. So let's say the team is a team Hockey Malaysia, for example. Okay, Hockey Team Malaysia. So let's say they decided to don't have the hockey team for Malaysia. So the players can join other team. Maybe they can join as a club team for their own state, right? They don't have the national team, but they can join other team. They still exist. So in that case, it's aggregation. Did I answer your question, Daniel? Okay, to understand further about aggregation and when to use it, and you have to do a lot of exercises, right? Try to find exercises in the internet, right? There are a lot of resources, class diagram examples, and you have to see, right? To practice with the exercises so that you can understand. Any more questions? Okay, if no more question, why don't we look at your I hope you have drawn class diagram for your PBL. Right, so a lot of groups have emailed me your sequence diagram. So some of them I already checked twice, right? Second round and third round, right? But there are some groups that only checked by me first round, and I have found a lot of mistakes, and I have asked you to correct them. So those groups that I told you that you have a lot of mistakes and you have to do corrections, you can also show me your sequence diagram that you have corrected. But those groups that I already checked a lot of your sequence diagram, and I would not check it again. Okay, I just want to see class diagram for those groups. So let's start the PBL checking, because we need to make sure everything is right, because after this you will be using your PBL's document to do the interface design for PBL 3. Okay, so the most important thing is everything that you have described in your PBL must be visible in your interface, right? So some people, they design it very well in the sequence diagram, in the use case description, but in the interface is not describing what was designed, right? So it's very important for you to make sure the what it tallies with what you have designed, correspond to whatever you have written in the PBL. Another thing is the sequence diagram that you have drawn for PBL2. I found out that some groups are very detailed and some groups are not that detailed, right? So when that happens, for the groups who are detailed, they would not have any problem to come up with the interface design, and it's so easy for them to, because the details are there, so they just have to follow it to design the interface. But those groups who did not detail out the sequence diagram, you will find that you will need to do another work during the interface design to go back to your sequence diagram and make it correct, to make it same as your interface. Right? You will experience those moments where you want to design your interface, but you didn't mention this screen in the sequence diagram or any use case description. So you will have to go back and modify your PBL2 a lot, right? Because if you don't modify, then when you submit it for the final PBL, so I will check why the interface does not tally with the design, right? So in that way, you will have less marks for the tally of the what to make sure same, your design is same with the interface. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So no need to waste time. Let's check because we have 9 groups to check. So who would like to show me first? Once you have shown me, you can leave the group that have finished so that we can concentrate on other groups. Okay, another thing is if you didn't scan, don't forget to let me know before you leave, right? Because last class, there were some students who did not inform me. Okay, let's start. Which group to? If the groups that I already checked sequence diagram too many times, that I just want to see your class diagram now.
Madam?
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum. Can show you our diagram?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Wait.
Which company is that, Siti Nabiha?
That's Chen, madam.
Okay.
We have shown you our sequence diagram for once only. So I want to show you our sequence diagram.
Okay, hope you can choose 1 or 2 sequence diagram only, but I don't want to check all.
Okay. Oh wait. Can you see the screen, madam?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. This is our sequence diagram for login and logout page. Login and logout.
Okay, just you need to put a note in for exceptional 1, where does it happen? So maybe in the sixth message 6, you put a note